So good morning, I guess it's almost good afternoon. So I'm Stacy Conrad. I am the director of the Southeast Channel for TPX. I have with me Susie Stechel, who's our channel manager down in South Florida. And I also have with me Charlie, one of our solutions architects, who was nice enough to fly down from Boston to join us today. And some of you already know Bob Franklin in the room. He is our new solutions architect based here in South Florida. So as you can tell, we're expanding our presence. We're going to give you a high level. Who is TPX and why do you want to know? And then dig into a couple of the core products that were just mentioned. And then we'll open up to any questions, although if you have any in the middle, feel free to yell. The first question really is, who is TPX? And for those of us in the Southeast, you might not be as familiar as those of us who work in other parts of the company. We really are a managed service provider. And we focus on three key areas: communications and collaboration, managed IT and security, and managed connectivity. So those are the areas we're going to talk about a little bit today. But really, the big question for those of you when you work with a great national master like TCG is you have about 150 different people you can sell. And so usually the partners want to know what makes us a little bit different. Why would you want to work with TPX? The first one is, as they mentioned when they introed, is we really do look to be a comprehensive one-stop shop. Not just because it's easier for your customer, which it obviously is, they can get one bill, one provider, but as a partner who's out there, pounding the pavement and selling, it's definitely easier for you to put together a solution that has more than one product rather than trying to pull 4 or 5 carriers in to close an opportunity. So what you'll see as we go through this, we can sell all of our products as a standalone, but we really want to see you bundle the voice. Bundle the SD-WAN, bundle the managed IT, look at firewalls, look at security, look at Office 365, and be able to truly go to your customer with the complete solution. We are really the experts in multi-location. So for those of you who are selling in that marketplace, and I'll talk a little more about verticals, but really multi-site, multi-product, we tend to do a phenomenal job. We are a service provider at heart. So we say that because as you start to, I'll put up some metrics and some different things that talk about how we treat your clients. We've been in the telecommunications space for 20 years. We didn't enter and add telco into our portfolio. We started out with it in our portfolio. And so we continually have the customer in mind. And we'll talk about the reliability, the personal support, and as I mentioned, we're really expanding here in the Southeast. So again, sort of, who are we? Some of you might have sold Legacy Telepacific out in California. The company started 20 years ago. We were a CLEC, very successful CLEC out there, and we still are a very successful network provider out in California. Through some acquisitions, they started to get very aggressive over in Texas, Nevada, and decided that they were having great success. They wanted to add to the product portfolio. About 5 years ago, we actually contracted with VeloCloud for SD-WAN. And I think most of you will agree in this room, 5 years ago, most of us were not talking about SD-WAN like we are today. And so in that relationship, we have become the largest VeloCloud provider in the United States. And that started our transition from being a CLEC to becoming a managed service provider. 2 years ago, we then acquired a very large company out of Boston. So again, if you played in the New England space, called DSCI. And DSCI was a very competitive UCaaS provider, specializing in about 200 seats and above. So they were a big competitor up in that market, very well known. And so as we brought that in, it helped to complete more of the portfolio to come out and be that one-stop shop of a managed service provider. At that point, we rebranded and we became TPX. But that gives you a little idea of maybe why you've not heard of us if you haven't sold in some of those other regions. But this is sort of what I like. It's this great opportunity. Here in the Southeast, we call this one of our emerging markets. This is a market that we're very interested in penetrating and being able to sell our full suite of solutions. But we're not a new company. We're almost a $700 million company. We have more than 1,500 employees. More than 50% of our revenue comes from the channel. We have more than 6,000 SD-WAN endpoints. So it's exciting for us, all of my team, very fortunately, has been in the industry for 20 plus years, that we get an opportunity to go out into the market and sell a very established company in a market that's not familiar with us. And so you get the ability to go out to your customers. There's no baggage, there's no history, there's nothing that comes with but a new story to tell. And there's no direct sales force in the Southeast at all. So there's also no competition in that realm as well. Again, where do we really focus? Communications and collaborations. We really love our unified communication. Susie will talk to that a little bit more. But that's everything from your traditional hosted VoIP up to your more sophisticated UCaaS solutions, SIP trunking, conferencing, fax. We do a tremendous amount in the managed IT space, our managed SD-WAN, managed LAN, managed Office 365, which is a unique offering for many, firewalls, endpoints, backup. So a full, robust portfolio that can be fully managed. And we do offer the connectivity. The connectivity, we do have full connectivity solutions anywhere in the United States, but we do allow a BYOB option as well. So we want to sell the communications, we want to sell the management. If you want the bandwidth and need the bandwidth with it, great. If you've already sold the bandwidth, or if you've worked with someone like Crown Castle and you've already put something in, great. We can really be flexible either direction. We really want to package up those first two solutions. Oops, as that one, it went too quick. It is a nationwide provider. We'll get to a little bit more on the maps. I have the sales engineers here if you want to talk any bit about the backbone. But I will note we do have SSAE 18 data centers throughout the country. We have 2 network operation centers here in the United States. Our NOCs are 24/7, 365. So again, where you might not be familiar with us, a lot of establishment already out there. And this from a partner perspective, we actually, as an organization, this has been something we've been doing since our inception, is we go out every month with a third party and we survey our customers. And we look to find out what are we doing well and what are we not. And we actually publish this to our partner community every month so you guys can see those results. 95% of our customers were satisfied with our survey. That's been an ongoing stat. 95% of our calls when you call into our customer care are answered within the first 30 seconds. And what's more impressive to me though is the next one. 90% of those are resolved on the first call. And I mention that because many of us have worked for companies where you call into support and somebody takes all your information and then somebody else calls you back. Our front line is our tech support. We have engineers answering the call so we can resolve any of your customers' needs quickly. We also have a fully automated system that not only your customers can see their trouble tickets, but partners have access to that as well. And the 99% invoice accuracy, we joked about this over breakfast. I don't want to see your customers' bills either to you, we just want them to be correct, so we're very proud of that number as well. So when it comes to industry, everybody already says, you know, what vertical are you good? Well, when you're doing UCaaS and you're doing managed IT, it really isn't vertical specific. We have referenceable clients in retail, medical, real estate, automotive. And where I mentioned we're newer to this market, we have referenceable clients in every vertical across the country. So if your client hasn't heard of TPX and they want to speak to someone of a similar size or a similar industry, very easy for us to obtain. But very much, you know, vertical agnostic, if multi-site really plays into it, but we do a lot of, you know, small locations as well. And just, you know, we always have a logo slide. Just an opportunity for you guys to see some of the companies we work with. There's some impressive ones. You know, we've had our data center business for quite some time. You see companies like Dropbox and Yelp. You see some major companies where we've had our UCaaS solutions like Whole Foods. I mentioned a little bit with the SD-WAN and some major organizations. So really a lot of opportunity for you guys to go out and bring something a little bit different into the market than what you might have been bringing out today. So Susie's going to talk a little bit more about some of the product sets. We're going to do a quick mic change, and we will be right back.
Hi, everybody. I'm Susie Stutchell. I'm the channel manager in South Florida for TPX. Thank you so much, TCG, for having us here. I've seen some familiar faces from the past, so it's really nice to kind of be back in the telecom game, or actually the cloud managed services game. So with that said, twice?
Sometimes you have to do it twice.
There we go. So I live actually, we don't have a brick and mortar office down here, but I live in Lauderdale by the Sea, so I'm accessible to all the counties down here. We don't know each other very well, but TPX has a couple sweet spots, and I think that's what agents and partners are asking for, is who is TPX, like Stacey was explaining. Why go to, TPX? Why pick up the phone and call Susie or Charlie or Bob or Stacey for an opportunity when you have, 50 vendors, 100 vendors to choose from? So I kind of thought I'd make a little slide like this because we want you to think in a more minute way who to call and when. So TPX has 3 key product sets: UCX, which is our unified communications platform, and MXX, which is our line of managed IT services, and that comprises SD-WAN, managed firewalls, endpoints, Office 365, and then we also have managed connectivity. We are a national carrier, but we really are multi-location experts. So when we talk managed connectivity with TPX, I'm not, a one-site 100 meg circuit in Ocala. Probably not call me for that. I'm not going to probably get you the best price. But coupled with our MXX services, we can really do a competitive play for you, or SD-WAN OTT over the top. I'm not good at this. Okay, just show of hands. It's probably a big show of hands, but how many people have sold unified communications before? UCaaS. About half. Okay. What makes us a little bit different at TPX is that we are, by the way, we're a BroadSoft platform, and there's probably about 600 providers out there using BroadSoft, but we're probably in the top 1% that are always on the latest version. So that's kind of a differentiator about our UCaaS product. Is that we're always on the latest version, and the next one is in testing. So coming out the end of the month, we'll have the latest version with the hospitality suite coming up right away. The benefits of UCaaS are well known. It's a commoditized type service, I think, out there. But we're different in terms of our customer experience. So we have all the bells and whistles that you're probably familiar with, the latest technology with BroadSoft. The voice, the video, the desktop sharing, the IM, the web and audio conferencing, anywhere presence. We have all of that in a very simple to use interface. And really, if you're not using all those kind of features at a company, if you're selling them that, they're not truly unified. So once you've really sold this UCaaS product, it's a sticky product, you're definitely going to be on to having them for a long time. This is our app for our UCaaS product, UCX, and it's very easy to read and to use. It's very intuitive. You have your voice calling, video calling, chat, availability, screen sharing, smartphone apps, Android, iOS. We can do a test too as well if you want to beat this up for a couple weeks for free. We have a 2-week free trial for partners, so we're happy to set that up through me or through Bob. It's definitely something that we want to proliferate down here. I know it's a competitive environment, but we have a white glove channel provisioning program and customer experience at TPX. So once we sell the order, it is completely handled by a channel team dedicated to that customer and that partner, and it's all white glove. So it's a really, really good experience, and I think that's what makes us different in the sea of maybe 8x8, Vonage, RingCentral, all very good companies, but how do you kind of differentiate yourself? It's the customer experience. So we'll do that. And every deal, whether maybe not a small one, that's larger, you will involve your solution architect, either Bob or Charlie, and we can kind of develop the adoption of that sale and prospect together. So we're not just selling it and walking away. It's delivered in a manner that really suits the company. Okay. And we use, I don't know who's buying phones a lot these days, but you can buy phones with us. We are a Polycom outfit, Grandstream, decked wireless. You can do BYOB, and that would be something you would ask Charlie or Bob about is, can we use Yealink phones, or can we do this, that? That's something that we can look at for you. So who's here, are you familiar with Polycom, the line of phones, everyone? Okay. So that would be an easy way. But you can also use the soft phone too. A lot of the younger folks, they don't even want phones. So I've noticed that, the millennials. So you can bring your own device, use the soft phone, and go that way.
Can I add one thing?
You bet.
I'm just going to add one thing, because we did recently come out with a new installment program. So a lot of you are familiar with how you rent a Polycom, which means maybe it's $5 a month, and then 8 years later your client's still paying $5 a month for that phone. We've actually set up an installment program, so what happens is they will pay for it. Let's say they're on a 36 or 60-month contract. We'll divide out the cost of the phone. When their contract ends and they go to renew, they no longer have to continue to pay for the phone charges, yet we will still warranty the phone, replace the phone, and repair the phone. So we give them the benefit of a lifetime rental, but they only pay for it for the initial installment. And so that's a very big competitive advantage that we've started to offer, and different for you guys, so you can overcome that objection of, I don't want to pay for this, $200 phone for 20 years. So a little bit of a sales tip on that.
Perfect. And that's ready now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So, and also with our UCX, and I'll go over the spiffs later, we do have, at TPX, and this is with any of our services, if you sell a 5-year contract, at the 2-year mark, we'll do a reevaluation period, and you can send in anything in writing for a competitor for a complimentary service. If we can't match that rate, then they can get out of that 5-year contract. So for UCX, you would get a 5-time MRC if you sold this. But after 2 years, you can reevaluate. If we can't match that price, we will. Trust me, we will. And you can get out or continue on your contract. Okay. I can't get this. SD-WAN. It's hot. And I know everyone's like, SD-WAN, SD-WAN. Okay, show of hands, who has sold, just like actively selling SD-WAN? Quoting, who has actually sold one? Okay, that's actually a better result than I thought. This is where I kind of feel like is my, where my heart actually lies even the most with TPX. But SD-WAN revenue is going to grow 90% year over year for the next 5 years. That is a massive figure. If that doesn't just stand out besides all the other statistics, I don't know what else does. SD-WAN is not as scary as it was, 4 or 5 years ago. Everyone's doing it, and really, if you want to continue to sell just circuits or whatever that may be, that's fine. But you're really missing out on SD-WAN market share. Small companies, SMB, mid-market, they don't have the time or the bandwidth to dedicate to managing their circuits and the advent of all the new applications and everything they have to do. And SD-WAN just solves so many of those problems. So I would encourage you to look at us for SD-WAN. And if you're new to it, we can coach you, train you. We'll go on appointments with you. There's a demo kit set up in the back that I encourage you maybe to break, talk to one of the sales engineers, and they can do a little demonstration for you. But it's basically one of the hottest things in the market. With that said, why is TPX different? Why would you call me over Big Leaf, or why would you call me over Silver Peak or CenturyLink or all that kind of stuff? Stacy touched on this very well. We have probably one of the longest SD-WAN histories in the market with VeloCloud, and the largest deployments of VeloCloud endpoints in the United States. I think we're up to 6,000. It was only 4,000 a short time ago. We're killing it. We're slaying it with SD-WAN deployments. So with that said, we're a true partner of theirs. We were there before Windstream, before AT&T. We were aligned with them as a true partner. So with that, there's a lot of other benefits that come to you for that. We did just sign with Silver Peak recently, but I think we're in testing with them, and it's not really quite out yet. But we'll explain that. There's why you would use Silver Peak over VeloCloud. But VeloCloud is our primary. We're also really different because we own the SD-WAN cloud gateways. So many companies that are selling SD-WAN, they may not have gateways. They may not have their own private IP network like we do, which makes us unique. So we have gateways in Boston, Atlanta, Chicago, Dallas, Santa Ana, Sacramento, Denver, and Seattle. So it's a dispersed geography of gateways versus some companies might have none, or maybe they'll just bookend them. There'll be one on this side and one on this side, and you're just banging around, and you're not getting an optimized experience with that. This here is actually just a snapshot. It's not interactive, but I thought it was.
We have an interactive one sometimes.
Right, so this is the 6,000 endpoints we were talking about. If it was interactive, I could click even like on Miami and it would blow up and you'd see hundreds of other little dots, etc. Primarily the West Coast, because we are West Coast roots. You'll see more there, but it's really an impressive number, I think. So the SD-WAN features and benefits, I don't want to be redundant. Most people kind of know what they are, but for TPX, we are internet transport agnostic. We're provider network agnostic. We'll go over the top for anybody, whether it's AT&T, Comcast, your 4GE, ours. It doesn't really matter. The transport, I think we can even work with satellite at some point. So you can bring your own bandwidth. You can ride on our circuits. It's encrypted for our MPLS and also for our cloud, which is dynamic edge to edge. Features and benefits continued. So what you want, I guess, to say about SD-WAN is, the forward error correction, reduced jitter and loss and packet loss, that can be for a single site too. So don't think it has to be multiple sites. You could have one site out there and SD-WAN will solve that problem for them. But it aggregates the bandwidth at each of the circuits, as you know. So if you have a Comcast circuit, an AT&T circuit, we'll look at those circuits as one and we'll bond them. So if something's going wrong with the AT&T circuit, we will throttle it over to the Comcast circuit and the customer would never know what happened. And that actually can be demonstrated through the back there. We will also open up and manage the ticket for them. So we will say, we sent a ticket to Comcast, open the ticket to repair. That customer never has to call Comcast, never has to call AT&T. Not bashing, but sometimes there's some problems reaching them. We'll do it for you because our carrier backed around. We're a carrier. That's our roots, so we know how to navigate that as well. You can do any types of scenarios in terms of how you want to set it up with active circuits, active standby. You can have the 4G LTE in standby mode. You can have failover, whatever it is. I think we can have up to 3 situations, active, standby. Can we go up to 4? I don't know. I don't know. And we have inbound continuity too, which not many folks provide. Is that correct, Charlie? The public IPs are assigned? Yeah.
Because we're a carrier.
Because we're a carrier. So that's another differentiator. And feel free to chime in if anything I'm saying something wrong. They have propellers on their head. Me not so much. So why we're better? Obviously over the top. We don't have to. You can use our circuits. You can't. You're not forcing to do that. We will do third-party carrier support. Not everybody does that either. 4G LTE. We use AT&T now. I think we signed with Verizon, right? I think. Did you hear that? I think we might have done. We'll cap you at 150 gig if something scary is going on. We have the different continuity options, and obviously you can do fully managed or you can do self-managed. So if those of you are familiar with VeloCloud, we have an orchestrator tool, so it's a portal, and you can either have read-write access to it or not. So you can call us to manage it, or you can actually have the visibility real-time into your own network, Mr. Customer, and you can access the changes, you can do customized business policies, you can see what's happening with all your applications and control your network. And any questions on our SD-WAN, just probably pointed to them. Is there any questions about VeloCloud or Silver Peak? Okay. Microsoft Office 365. Anyone selling Microsoft Office 365 in the room? One? It's kind of like a low-hanging fruit scenario. It's not, it's not a big focus, but it really is. We'll manage it for you, so they don't have to do any of the patching and any of the stuff that they would call Microsoft for. We're the same price as them, and we will do that for them. It's just a change of partner record, and we will manage that whole scenario for them, especially for those folks who are on like Outlook 2000. Is it 2013 that's end of life right now? I think it is. They have to move to this service. 2010. They have to go to Office 365 because they're not being handled at all. So we can handle it for them. It's basically a real easy play. We can do it, and we do it well. We have Microsoft certified engineers to do that. And I like this slide a lot because this is also kind of bleeds how we're different in many ways. When you're with TPX, you have a channel manager, obviously locally. You have dedicated solution architects on every deal. So you will have Bob, who's our new sales engineer for the South, on every deal, architecting the SD-WAN deal, the UCX deal, whatever it needs to be done. We will make sure it's vetted and cleared and pre-qualified before it goes to ordering. So you can sell things a lot, and then when it comes time to deliver, things happen terribly sometimes. It won't happen with us on their watch. They will also provide on-site demos for you, for customers, for UCX, for our Unified Communications platform, for our SD-WAN platform. We can bring that whole kit in the back to a customer office. We can do an SD-WAN demo at your partner office. We can, at another Marriott, whatever you like. We also have dedicated UC and MSX product evangelists across the United States. So these guys they know every ins and out of SD-WAN and Unified Communications. So if we have like a big event, they can help proliferate our message. And everything is 100% channel provisioning. We have quadrupled our service delivery department to be just for the channel. So everything's white glove. It's not going to touch any type of direct hands. It's just all for the channel. So that's a unique experience there. And of course, if you ever had a big project, we would assign a project management team to that. Yes?
What about install?
Installations we do, like if it was down here, we would sub it out to, correct?
We have a nationwide truck roll company. So if it's a place
Right.
where we have employees, we're going to send TPX employees. If not, we're going to white label that out. But all of our products, we prefer a truck roll. So unless the partner wants to do it themselves or it's a small enough opportunity that you don't want us to do it, would rather send the truck out, get the professional installer out there, and make sure everything goes in flawlessly before they leave the client.
Is there a cost associated with that?
There is a cost for the truck rolls. It depends on the size of the customer. Most fees, as again when we promote our 60-month contract, most fees get eliminated. There's still a small cost for the truck roll. And again, depending on the size and the scope of the customer, some of those are a little bit flexible as well.
Cool. Here's the good part, how you can make money with TPX. Before I get to the last spiff screen, we are so confident in our installation. If we miss a date, like we said, TPX said we were going to be there on August 24th, and it's our fault we miss it, we will give you $500. Not the customer, we'll give you $500 because that's how confident we are to miss the date. Don't test us on that. No, I'm kidding. How do I make $500? This is a hard economy. But in all seriousness, yeah, so we will do it, but that's how confident we are in our channel provisioning team. I've never really heard of anyone doing that before. Yeah. So this is our spiff chart, and this is in July, and it usually stays pretty much the same, but there's a couple unique things I want to touch on. First of all is the UCX will give you the 5 times MMR, only if you sell a 5-year term. But you should be able to do that because you have the 2-year out to evaluate, which will match. So get as much money as you can for that. We have 4 times on our MXX services, a little bit less for the primary in terms of spiffs. But one thing that's out this month, if anyone has a Unified Communications deal, it's buy one, get one free on our seats. So if you have 50 seats, you would get buy one, get one. So it's like half off. You not make as much money, but if you really want to motivate someone, it's buy one, get one free, which I haven't heard of that really either. So that's good till the 31st of July. That's kind of pretty much it in terms of our spiffs and our product set. I probably didn't do a great job of explaining everything. I'm a little bit new myself. But we have a great team. We're very hungry. We're very eager to work with you guys, especially those that are unfamiliar with managed services. We have managed firewalls. We have managed endpoints. We have deep engineering experience at TPX. So look to us to be that managed services provider. Don't think of us as a carrier or single sites for circuits. Let's go further and peel the onion back on these clients. And you can layer in pretty much anything with them in terms of SD-WAN or UCX, and it makes sense. Just ask any of your customers, are you having trouble with your internet? Have you ever had latency with your internet? Boom, SD-WAN, that's a conversation. And at least you're talking about it. And then if they don't say anything, okay, I just want that circuit, and then that fails and there's a hurricane, they'll remember that Paul came in and talked to them about SD-WAN, and then the phone rings and then you're back in. So it's kind of a learning curve, and we want to be on that curve with you. Is there any questions about our company or products? Yes?
You mentioned that you don't have any direct sales force here in the Southeast, but what about out West?
We do in California and Texas and Nevada, and a little bit in Boston. But that's it. So our market's sort of what we cover, absolutely none, and no plans for any as well. This market is intended to be exclusively channel.
Yeah, which is good. That's right.
You guys, we need you guys to add more dots into that map that Susie showed.
Cool.
That's right. Go ahead.
As far as connectivity, are you guys just basically,
on what part of the country. In some cases, we're actually bringing it back to our own backbone where we're managing and monitoring, and we're doing that, in some parts of the country we actually are a last mile provider. In other parts, we're doing that through NNI relationships, and in other parts, we are straight resell. So it really does depend. More likely down here, it's going to be resell of AT&T or Comcast or Spectrum or one of those. The advantage to doing it, obviously, is the one bill, and it gives that customer, that one throat. But because we're selling that with the SD-WAN, we're very comfortable managing that circuit, therefore eliminating their need to work with multiple providers.
Would the pricing be the same, or is there a little bit?
A little bit of an up. Usually we find, clients will pay a little bit more to have a bundle, not that much more, but a little bit more. We did a big meeting yesterday, big, multi-site retail, about 67 sites. And we're going in that case, and we're looking at UCX, 5 to 7 phones per location. We're looking at coax, because these are small sites, we don't need huge bandwidth. We're looking at SD-WAN, because they're doing VoIP, and we need to make sure we have good quality. And then we're doing 4G backup. We have 2 competitors in there. Nobody is presenting a unified solution. Partners going in with us first. And so that's where, yes, is 4 products going to cost more than 2? Absolutely. But we're going in with an entirely different solution. They've had their point of sale go down. They're concerned about going to VoIP for the first time. They've had challenges with their wireless. So we are really going in there with something different, and we are getting the front spot in that opportunity. So that's where we really want to package, and yes, our coax will be a little bit more there, but it will come in as a complete package. But good question.
Can you do anything internationally?
We can we on the SD-WAN?
Yes.
We can, but it's on a case-by-case basis.
Yeah.
Primarily a US-based company, though.
A particular country?
No,
Just in a, yeah.
I have a customer who's got
Yeah.
locations internationally and domestically, so I'm just curious. Not
Yep.
the circuits, obviously, but just to send a VoIP out and the SD-WAN and maybe some type of backup.
We can, you just have to remember when it comes to the local dial tone, if we're sending out our VoIP and it's, a Florida number, if they're calling the pizza place down the street, it becomes a toll call. But if they're just using it to call back to Florida, it's a free call, so depending on those scenarios. So we have some expertise. We would pull in a Bob or Charlie just to make sure we're a good fit. Very important to us, we don't want to go down the rabbit hole. We'll assess that opportunity up front. If we think we're a good fit, we'll move forward. If not, we're going to tell you right away, so you have ample time to find what you need to get into that customer.
Yeah.
Can we get an idea of pricing on the UC?
I'm going to do that to you because the pricing, pricing's never my area. Do what you did over breakfast
Sure,
this morning.
sure. I mean, obviously, and again, we're in aggressive emerging markets, so we're willing to be flexible with you guys. So for like a full bell and whistle seat for like complete on our UCX product, we have everything: IM, chat, video, blah blah blah. The retail is $24.95. We can get down into like the 16, maybe 15 range if it's a bit of a whopper. For like plain voice, we're talking maybe like $8 around that.
Like for an extension?
Yeah, maybe even 7. But so our numbers are good on the UCX. They're very, very good on the UCX.
I've been selling UCX since 2006. Our pricing is sweet,
And
we
that-
have a lot of flexibility.
So much so that I would recommend baking in like an SD-WAN router with every deal, especially down here, because if we are using a different carrier or over the top, that will completely, optimize the performance. So there's 100% SLA on our UCX if you throw in a managed service, which could be only maybe like $120 or $90 a month extra. Then, with that said, then you've gained intelligence into their network. You can see all their apps, what they're doing. Who knows what you're going to find? You can upsell other stuff. So you've really put a very powerful solution in front of them. So I'm telling partners just to bake it in to the UCX, because if not, and we go over the PSTN, by the way, with our UCX product, which is great quality of service. But there are, if you don't have an MSR, a Velo box, or I'm just going to call it Velo box, there's going to be some jitter and latency and stuff. This completely eliminates that. And you can just walk away, and that customer's going to be so happy, and then it'll lead to other things. So I would just put it in every proposal. Sorry, I'm going there, but
No.
preaching. And we've seen a lot of success that way. But I would say also our customer experience, besides the pricing, is really, really what TPX is about on the UCX side, for
But the
sure.
pricing's sweet.
The pricing's, I can match anybody out there, pretty much.
Because you deal with a lot of retail, or in the retail space, I'm assuming you guys
24/7 US-based NOCs.
Yep.
So live US people 24/7.
Yep.
Do you have any call center applications?
Yes.
We have a call center application on the UCX. We don't have what I would call a full-blown contact center.
Right.
So depending on your application, we do have the latest BroadSoft offerings. So we can either, depending on their needs, sell the solution we have, or we can do CRM integration and integrate with an InContacts or Five9s if they need something a little more sophisticated than what we're offering today. So either way, we can make it work. Again, part of that assessment, we're going to let you know if it's best fit for us or best fit to integrate.
Yeah. We do it. I know I can't see very well.
I know, they'll probably like, any
What
other?
about, hospitality? You guys do well like with hotels, integrate with your software for the rooms and things like that, or you guys are not?
BroadSoft has a new release coming out that's going to give us some more hospitality features and functionality. So I would say ask that question back to us in about 90 days. We're in the process of testing some of the new releases. We haven't delivered them yet. So that will be a coming, I would say today we're more successful doing front office than we are back office.
Right. And especially down here in Florida, I totally get that. I've been asked that a million times since I've been
I
in the
live in
hospitality
Orlando,
hotels.
trust me, yeah.
And there's just some things, you just have to just say, hold on a minute until we get up. I believe it's actually going to be around August, I heard. But again, when someone says that, then it's October. But that we'll have that option. So yeah, think of us for that, and I'll keep you posted.
And guys, we did set up a little demo lab, so when the day ends, if you're not in a rush or if you eat quickly and you want to look at something, we have both the UCX and the SD-WAN. So sometimes it's easier, pictures worth 1,000 words to sort of see the product.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, if you like what you see, we can set up something a little more detailed in your back office as well.
Cool. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Good job.